Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? Thanks for stopping by. This is Trucking with Diabetes. I kind of go over news stories here. I kind of talk about the things I cook in the truck. I try to share things that I'm doing that work. But I'm not here to educate you. I'm just here to give ideas. You know, if you find something here that works for you, let me know in the comments it worked for you. I would appreciate that. But as far as educating, I'm not here to educate. I am not a doctor. I'm not a dietitian. I'm a man trying things and struggling with things, you know what I mean? Like, I love people in the comments say, oh, you should just, you should just be low carb, and you should just, well, sometimes I struggle with things, okay? I'm not perfect. You know, I mean, we can work together on it, but, if you've got any good suggestions, by all means, leave them. But I'll tell you right now, I'm not a big fan of being told what to do. You know, you should do this, you should do that. So I try not to do that to you, but I'll bring up suggestions. You know, if it works for me, that to me it's always like that thing of catching flies with more. You catch more with honey than vinegar. I don't know why you'd want to catch flies, but it is true. You will catch more with honey than you will with vinegar. So it's kind of like how you bring things up and how you talk about them. When people tell you, oh, you got to do this, it's like, whoa. I'm a truck driver. I'm an independent person. No, thank you. I don't take to that. So I don't know. That's just me. But thanks for stopping by. Like I said, I go over news stories. I go over some recipes of simple things I cook. I like talking about the new low-carb snacks in the truck stops. If I find something, I'll bring it to you. Today, I have found me a news story, and I'm really interested in this. If you guys don't know, I hate the finger prick test of checking my blood sugar. Not because the cost, I got the Rely On Prime tester from Walmart Pharmacy. I pay like $18 for 100 test strips. I pay like $2 for 100 lancets, the little things that poke your finger. I pay like $2 for 100 alcohol swabs to clean the area I'm going to poke. So I'm in this like $22 for 100. So it cost me about 22 cents a piece to test. So the money's not that big of a deal. Say if you test 5 times a day, I'm just barely in it over $1. So the money's not a deal breaker. The thing is to me of remembering to do it before I eat, because being a truck driver, a lot of times you're in a rushed mode. I went in to check in this morning at a at a receiver. I go in, they're kind of taking their sweet time. I said, hey, I'm going to go wait in my truck. Let me know whenever you're ready. I went and sat in the truck for about 20 minutes. I was like, well, finally, they're not coming. And, I don't like to take my medicine on an empty stomach. So I said, hey, I'm going to come out to the truck. I'll eat me one of those low-carb yogurts. It'll be just, enough to take my medicine with. I got my blood sugar. I peeled the top back on the yogurt in reverse order. I was going to eat before I checked. So, I like to get the before and after, that early morning check, This would have been my first check of the day, but instead, I made the mistake of opening the yogurt, went to eat it, said, oh, wait a minute, I didn't test, stopped everything, got everything out, put a test strip in the sensor. I was ready to go. Guy knocks on the door. So I get up to answer, he's like, hey, I'm ready, So I was like, well, great. Now I just wasted a test strip because it sat there while I was talking to him in the machine. And those test strips, once they're like in the open air, they only last so long. So it was fun. It was fun. But that's why I don't like it. That's why I want a continuous glucose monitor. And I'm glad there's more companies getting into the game now. Let me read this news story for you. It's from fiercebiotech.com. Fiercebiotech.com. Let me see here. There we go. Fiercebiotech.com. So if you look that up, you'll find it. It's No Labs, N-O-W, No Labs. That's the company we'll be talking about here, No Labs. Says unveils pocket-sized glucose monitor that swaps finger pricks for radio frequencies. Think about that. You wouldn't even have to poke your finger. My understanding, I don't know if you guys can see the Let me see where my camera's at. I don't know if you guys can see the way that works. It kind of reminds me, for you guys that are listening to this and not looking at the screen right now, it kind of looks like one of those, you know, those little oxygen monitors, oxygen saturation things. You know, they just clip onto your finger and they tell you how much oxygen's in your blood. It kind of looks like one of those. Man, that would be the greatest thing ever if all I had to do was clip one of those to my finger, and it works with a Bluetooth via an app on your phone. That thing would be a lifesaver. I swear, I would just mount it to the dash somewhere, and literally, that'd be the simplest thing in the world. You know, every time I come to a stop, bam, I'd pop that thing on. I'd be checking like 50 times a day, because I've noticed when I check my sugar more, I do better. I do better. It's mental. It's on my mind more. So, let me read this news story to you if you're interested in this. It says, after decades of requiring diabetic patients to perform routine finger sticks throughout the day or be implanted with a sensor or both to keep track of their blood glucose, the current holy grail of medtech is the creation of a completely non-invasive glucose monitor. Exactly. If whoever comes up with that first and gets it to market, it's going to be a juggernaut. It's going to be a seller. You know, I will tell you right now, if the thing costs $500, I'd buy it. Because the way I look at it, I'm spending, if I'm checking my blood sugar 5 times a day, which is about an average for me, because I like to check it first thing in the morning, and then typically I check it before and after 2 meals, you know. If I eat a snack or something, I don't test it before that, but I try to check it before and after my meals, especially if I'm eating something new that I don't eat a lot. That way I know how that affects me. You know, so the way I look at it, if I'm in $1 a day to test, if that thing was $500 in a year and a half, it would pay for itself. You know, not to mention the extra health benefits of getting to check my sugar more without having to sit down, get out the monitor, you know, my meter. You know, it's not a huge inconvenience. It takes a minute to do it. The thought of getting in there and stopping what I'm doing and doing it is the big dilemma for me. So let's say it says a handful of companies have already joined this quest. No Labs, for one, debuted this week its second device that can measure glucose levels from outside the body without requiring lancets, test strips, implants, or other additional components besides an accompanying smartphone app. The KnowU device, that's what it's called, Know, the letter U, KnowU device, small enough to fit easily in the user's pocket, is designed for on-demand use. It consists of a battery-powered sensor equipped with a monitor to perform measurements and a base that charges the monitor and displays its calculated readings. The handheld device joins the previous unveiled U-band. So this same company's got a like a wristband, looks kind of like a Fitbit almost. It's called the U-band, letter U, B-A-N-D, U-band, which is worn around the wrist for continuous glucose monitoring. Both devices connect wirelessly via Bluetooth to Know Labs' smartphone app, which will track and store glucose readings. Kudos on that. Know Labs glucose monitors are both powered by its body radio frequency identification, or for short, they call it the Bio-RFD technology. The Bio-RFD sensors emit radio waves to measure specific molecular signatures in the blood through the skin, calculated using spectroscopy. Wow, what a technology. Let's see what the company has to say about it. The company says, we know that not all people with diabetes are looking for a wearable continuous glucose monitor. I don't see why they wouldn't. You know, I don't see why they wouldn't. A glucose monitoring device to manage their diabetes. Some simply want to replace the painful inconvenience and expensive finger sticks they currently rely on, said CEO Phil Busa, who invented the Bio-RFD technology. The Bio-RFD sensor we currently use for our internal product testing fits in your pocket and is ready for final use So we've decided to create the No You as a portable, affordable, and convenient alternative requiring no disposable items such as test strips and lancets. Yeah, there you go. And some of those test strips and everything are super expensive. I was looking at the Abbott Freestyle stuff in Walmart the other day. 100 lancets for their product is $12. So I know insurances are getting eaten alive by these Abbott and all these other people. So I hope they come through with this. But let me continue reading on. It says the in vitro tests have found that the radio frequency sensor technology was able to measure glucose levels with accuracy comparable to that of Abbott's Freestyle Libre continuous glucose monitor, which uses a sensor attached to the back of the arm for up to 2 weeks, according to a 2018 study comparing the two. 97% of the U-band's readings were within 15% of the values calculated by the Abbott device. So, you know, as of right now, it might not be accurate enough to, like, administer insulin, but it could be accurate enough to warn you of a low blood sugar reading, like in the middle of the night. If your sugar was to drop, you know, if that thing, I'd rather that thing wake me up than, you know, the alternative, obviously, you know. So yeah, looks like they're getting some stuff done. They're pretty comparable to the Freestyle Libre, and you don't have to poke yourself or wear a sensor. Let's get on with it here. It says, No Labs is planning on performing human clinical trials of its bio-RFID technology to support its regulatory submissions for the U-band and the No You. The Seattle-based company said it expects to begin the FDA approval process for the No You monitor sometime next year. I'm a little confused why this thing needs to be approved by the FDA. It's non-invasive. You know, it sounds pretty accurate. I think it may be one of those things, like, it comes with a heavy warning of, like, you know, this thing isn't trusted 100%, but I wish they'd just start doling them out. Get them on the market. Why does the FDA need it? Honestly, when things are FDA approved, I look at it as a negative a lot of times. Like, I don't quite trust that they have my best interest in heart. That's just me. That's my opinion. Don't let that reflect on anything else on the channel. But, you know, like, sometimes I don't think they got the best interest at heart. So, yeah, Seattle-based company here. Looks like they're going to start doing clinical trials next year. Boy, I wish they'd get these things on the market. I'd scoop one of these up ASAP. I mean, ASAP. It says, the process won't slow down No Labs' efforts to commercialize the U-band, which have already begun, according to the founder, Ron Erickson. The No You not only uses the same technology as the wearable model, but is also faster to build and commercialize, therefore accelerating our time to launch, Erickson explained. Oh, I am so glad that they're thinking like that, you know. Because, honestly, I like the wearable band, you know, I do like that, but I've kind of got a little, you know, smartwatch here, so a second band may be a little annoying. So I like the fact that this thing is like a separate little device, but it's non-invasive. So that's a beautiful thing to me. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this next part of this story, going to be some opinion in here. I said, according to the tech companies also hoping to develop a totally non-invasive method for tracking glucose is Apple. Eat my dust, Apple. Eat something. Apple has been saying for 5 years now, oh, we're going to have a wearable device in our smartwatch. Our smartwatch is going to have, we're going to have a glucose monitor in our wearable smartwatches. Our devices are going to be glucose monitors. They do it to get their name in there, and then about a month before the freaking thing comes out, they go, oh yeah, we didn't include that. So I don't think they had the technology. I think Apple just keeps saying they do. And Samsung, I'm not just picking on Apple, because Samsung is doing the same thing now. Every time it's time for a new watch, about 6 months out, they go, oh, the new hip thing on the watch is going to be continuous glucose monitoring, and then the dang thing comes out and it's not involved. So don't get caught up in the Apple, Samsung, big tech thing. So yeah, Apple, which has long been rumored to have been working on adding a glucose monitor capabilities to its ubiquitous wearable, they talk about it. They all talk, no do over there, in my opinion. The big tech dream may be closer than ever now that Apple has partnered with Rockley Funtronics, has built a wearable biosensor able to continuously measure a clinic's worth of biometrics from the blood pressure to, yes, the glucose monitoring. I believe it when I see it with Apple. This other company, they kind of seem like, you know, they're already making devices, you know what I mean? They're just pushing for FDA approval at this point. And now again, I'll believe it when I see it with all of them, because as of right now, I got a lot of money that I would spend on this, and no one's offering me one for sale, you know, one for purchase. So I'm a little wary of it. I'll be honest with you, I'm a little wary of it. On a smaller scale, Hager is also currently building a sensor that, like No Labs, uses radio waves to pick up on glucose levels in the blood. The Israel startup recently raised $11 million to keep developing the non-invasive tech and says its sensor has been proven to measure blood sugar with at least 90% accuracy compared to the estimated 70% accuracy achieved by other continuous glucose monitoring. So it sounds like both of these companies, the Hager, the Israel company, and the No Labs out of Seattle, sounds like they're both right there on something, you know. And it ain't just talk, because they're raising more money and more money to keep things going. You know, for a company to raise an additional $11 million to keep the process moving along, it's a good sign. It's a good sign. Smart money is behind it. I hope it's true. I would love to be in the test program. If anybody from either one of these companies sees this video, I would gladly be a willing participant to test these products. There is a wearable watch out there that is invasive. It's kind of like a continuous glucose monitor, but the sensor is underneath a watch, and you just pop it into your wrist and then strap it on. So there's a company, I think it's called PFJ or something like that. If you Google wearable continuous glucose monitor watch, stuff like that, it'll come up. I have signed up for that one to be a willing participant. I met all their criteria that they wanted someone to meet, so I would love to get that thing, but those probably not going to be out till close to the end of next year, and whether I get one or not will be up to the company. You know, I'm sure they're going to pick, you know, they're going to pick certain people, but you know, I would gladly give them all my readings. I would gladly give them anything they needed to get that thing and help it get to market. I'm very interested in non-invasive glucose monitoring. At this point, I'm interested in invasive glucose monitoring, because I feel like if we get that one step, you know, we're on that one step. We just need to go one step farther. But can you imagine the money these companies will make if no one had to buy test strips, if no one had to buy lancets or testing monitors, if it was all done non-invasive? I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be a cut to the, you know, Abbott and the, you know, the big companies like that. It's gonna be a cut to their bottom line. So that might be something getting it pushed back. You know how things work. You know how medicine works. It's not always the smart money that wins. You know, a lot of times it's the old money that wins. So, but I'm gonna wrap it up there, guys, and I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, think about subscribing. Come join me for Cash is King Trucking Show. I got another channel where I talk about business and trucking business, whereas here I talk about health and trucking. I do appreciate everybody coming by. It's a lot of fun doing these videos. It keeps it on my mind. It helps me stay on the straight and narrow. So thanks, everybody. Have a good day. Take care of each other. Stay healthy.